dynamic programming.
Yes. So let's recap. So what we have done in the last question, can you just what you have understand? Can you like brief about that?
Yeah, so so we kind of do a tree-based approach. In this question, it has two strings, and we compare from the end. So if the string of the two strings matches Z and Z, then we add 1 to the length, and we just keep going. So, and then we remove Z, we move the pointer to Y, and this one we move it to A, and we compare it again. So in this, then we go to, there's two choices, whether it's AX, Y, and B, and then the other choices is AX and BA. So the full strings were B, and we take the max, whichever one's longer, and we
Okay.
just keep going.
Yeah. So we started comparing the last two characters, right? From the
Yeah,
last. Yeah. So can we do from the first as well? Means the first two characters
I
comparing
think
start.
so. I think for sure we can do it from the first.
Yeah. So can you try as a homework? Can we do that
From the beginning.
from the beginning? Yeah. We
Okay,
need a
okay.
extra pointer. Okay. So from zero, we need to pass the indices there in the very function calls. So you just try. So what is the time complexity for the recursion based solution, which is the tree based one?
Yeah, tree base I think is 2 to the power of n. Is it because we have two choices for
Yes,
every level?
every level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of exponential. So
I have
now,
a question. I have a question.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
regarding this base case, um, so when is it because when we reach the index 0, we return 0? Is it because when the pointer is at the beginning?
Basically, so here the base case says that tells us that if any of the string is empty, so if you reach a empty string and another string has some character, so let's say you have two strings, right?
Mm,
One string is empty, another string has some character in it, so that string is valid string. So now, uh, can we create a LCS from both of them, like one is empty, another has some characters? No, right? So if you have a empty string, from a empty string can you get a string of valid characters? No. So if you reach a string which is now empty, you return 0. Why? As I mentioned, right? So if you have a empty string,
yeah.
one string is empty, let's say S1 is empty, but in S2 it's not empty, it has some character,
Oh,
so it's
okay,
a
okay.
okay. So it is not possible to create a LCS because one string is already empty. How we can get a LCS, longest common subsequence? So can I get a subsequence with a empty string? When there is a empty string, right? One of the
Okay,
string is
I got
empty.
it.
So whenever, so you just write it down the as a comment.
Okay,
So if any of the string is empty, that is our base case. So N0 or M0, T10 or T20 means any of the string is empty.
okay. It's so when, yeah, when this string, when the T2 is empty and
Yes,
T1 still has some strings, we cannot make any
LCS.
sequence LCS. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, got it.
And why and there is a we have a option to optimize that further, right? Why there is a valid reason also. Can
Yeah,
you tell me the reason?
yeah. The reason is because, for example, here, this one is an example. So when there's a overlap or repeated work that's happening. For example,
Yeah.
AX compare with B, and from this side, it's also AX compares with B. So if we have already calculated this once when we go down the tree, then we should
Yeah.
not do it again. and we just retrieve it from the dictionary that we made, or from the hash map that we made.
Yes. So we are basically, when there is a overlapping sub problem. So what we do, we store the one of the sub problem, so that whenever the same function call happens later, so what we can do, we can reuse the existing calls. Means existing reuse the stored calls, means stored result. So that's why we are storing in a map. Or I think first we tried with a array, right? So
Yeah,
which was not working. Can you figure it out why that is not working?
I think it was
It's like,
just because of the index, and we just messed up the index. And
yeah, maybe it's,
yeah,
yeah, okay. Okay, so what's the time complexity with dynamic programming, and what kind of dynamic programming it is? Is it top down or bottom up? And
um,
what's the difference between top down and bottom up? Yeah,
I think this one is top down. It's
and
still
why?
top down
Yeah, why
because we're
it's
going from the top to the. We're going from the. We're breaking down the problem from the top to the bottom.
bottom, right?
Yeah, rather than going from the bottom to the top and forming the final problem.
Yes. So we are basically splitting, or we are moduling the prob big problem to small sub problems. So here the tree based solution, which is the recursion based solution, we just reuse the same logic and create a dynamic programming out of that, right? So DP. So now what we will do, first tell me the time complexity for that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how much time do we save are using the hash map? It won't be 2n again, right?
No, no,
Two.
no. So that's why we are using DPs. Then why we use DP? It is same kind of publicity, right? But here the drawback of DP is it's taking extra space.
Yeah.
Recursion, recursion also uses a space, right? It is a stack, uses internally. Okay. Now in DP, what's the time publicity? It is basically we have two strings, right? We have two strings. So one string has a length of, let's say, m, another string has a length of n. So if you go to if you scroll down, so what we are doing, we are comparing we are comparing, basically we are comparing two characters from both the strings. From both the strings we are
Mm.
comparing the characters wise, each character wise, right?
Yeah.
So there are how many total characters in it? M into n. Max time complexity will be m and n. So if the size
Um,
of the string 1 and size of the string 2.
right, yeah. So time complexity with memoization or with
It
dictionary?
is it is the top down. You can do say
Memo.
memorization, yeah, memorization only. Then we will discuss uh, top down today, which is the tabulation.
Yeah. So this one, um, how much time do we save
How much time we save?
with the memoization? Because
It is, yeah, it is order of m into n. M is the size of string 1 and m is the size of length. Sorry, length of,
and OF and NM.
it is string m and n are the length of two strings
Okay.
basically. And why it is so? If they ask you like why, how do you get this m and n?
Length of text. And why is it the case? Because we're comparing we're comparing the strings with one another.
Yes, we are comparing the character wise, right? From
Yeah,
one character,
we're iterating through every single character for both strings.
both strings. Yeah. So max, m, and n will we have comparison, and for comparing, we are taking constant time.
Comparing is constant
Yeah, for each comparing.
because of the lookup in the hash map, right?
Yes. Yeah. So in lookup time is constant in map, right? So there is a, it's a base case.
Okay.
Base case is constant. So always remember. So when I say that lookup time of a map is a constant or dictionary is a constant, that is a base case. There is a scenario you may heard about dictionary or map collision.
Yes, yes.
Collision is there. So if both the key has same hash, then there is a collision. So there is we have to uh, there are lots of algorithms are there to solve that collision. Okay, so that is the worst case. So when I say the lookup time is constant, so that is the base case scenario.
Yeah.
Uh,
Whoa, did someone join?
yeah, I joined
Oh,
from
okay,
Drake.
okay.
Yeah, just
Okay, okay. So how can we translate this problem into bottom up?
yeah. So till now you understand right what we have discussed.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now when I say bottom up, bottom up basically uses a table. Table table means a matrix. Okay. Now what is the size of the matrix? How you have to means how you can like tell like you can there is a, like it depends the size of the matrix or the dimension of the matrix depends upon the parameters of your problem. So here in this problem we have two strings. Okay, and these are the dynamic means in these two strings we are comparing character wise. So this is kind of the we are basically that is a change. This is dynamic. So when we find there is some dynamic changes, or I can say there is some changes or number of parameters are changing. So here the length of the strings are changing basically. How from n to if you draw, let me draw this, how it changes. Can I annotate this? Yeah, I can. Let me draw. So let's say the one string is n, another string is also n, right? So
Okay.
now how it changes. So n one scenario is n and n minus one. I am for this case I am let's say there is no matches in the two strings. Okay, let's say there is no match in the two strings. This is the worst case I am drawing. Okay, so n minus one and n. So there is no match. So like that, the two parameters are changing. Parameters means here the length of the strings are changing. When you find the some the number of parameters are changing, that will be the diameter of the your problem. So here is two parameters are changing. The length of two strings are changing. So it's 2 by 2. So you have to create a matrix of 2 by 2.
So n is text one and n is text
It
two.
is a
So
length. It is
okay.
length.
Length.
So
Okay.
yeah. So it is a length of two strings. I am or I can say n and m. So it is n minus one and n minus one. Okay. This is the scenario for worst case complexity. Worst case scenario. This is a worst case scenario.
Okay.
So now you just create a
So
table. So
we create a
yeah,
table, right? It doesn't
yes,
matter where we put the so there's rows and columns for text one. And does it matter how we orientate
better.
the table?
Yes, yeah, it's a nice question. So it depends upon the problem. Okay, for this scenario, it doesn't matter which what is the column and what is the row. But in some scenarios, in the next problem only, in the next problem, I will discuss this what you asked. This is a very valid question. It depends upon the problem statement. But for this problem statement, it is invalid. Means you can write any of the strings in any of the dimension. Okay.
What
or
kind of
any.
problem, which type of problem does it matter?
Does it matter? One of the problem is coin change problem. We will discuss how
Okay.
it changes.
Yeah.
Okay. Why it is a means why that is important to understand, like which of the call means where you have to put your uh data, right? So if you are storing uh one string in column and another string in row, then there is no such scenario happens. But let's say you have a sum, like in the knapsack, let's say you have a knapsack kind of problem. So there you are changing your weight or count based upon another variable. In that kind of scenario, it makes like some scenario, it is kind of a complex scenario. So there you have to understand like which where we have to store the values, either column or row. So we'll discuss in detail about that. For this problem, it's there is no such dependency, so you can create a
Okay.
2D array.
So what was the A, X, Y, Z, and B, A? So A,
Here you can draw, like let me open the Google Doc.
okay.
Can can you share me the doc link, or let me open this?
Do you need a doc link?
Yeah, just wait. I have just wait. Let me. And how about your networking class going?
Oh, that class is finished. I'm just happy.
Oh, you're
That
you
class is
understand?
done.
Yeah,
Not my favorite class for sure.
yeah. It's kind of boring. I
Yeah.
know.
So now we have good that the new term is starting.
Yeah, new semester. What are the subjects there?
Oh, let me, yeah, there's a couple. So I'm taking algorithm 2 and then a communication class. And I'm also taking, what am I taking? I'm also taking a data science class.
Okay, nice. Not this doc. So you heard about Open GPT, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. ChatGPT. It's so
Yeah.
good. I don't think I need to solve any more of these problems. I can. I tried copy and pasting the lead code question into it, and it's able to generate answers.
Yeah, it's generated. So then what is the meaning of interview then?
Yeah.
So it is, what is your thought? Like, where we are moving forward with this AI?
I think it's interesting. It's more how how kids back in the day, they can just Google the answer, and then the professor would made a way to stop them from looking at up the answer. I think they would do the same thing with ChatGPT and make sure you don't plagiarize or anything. But it's a good tool though for helping programmers. It's kind of like a
Yeah,
dictionary or translation, but we still got to learn something.
yeah. We still lots of learn, but let's say in the interview, let's say what
Mhm.
will happen? Let's say if someone is copy and paste from
Yeah,
Chat GPT.
exactly. No one would know, especially if it's not a on-site, which is kind of sad. But oh,
Yeah, in video calls, right? So
yeah.
it's quite difficult for understanding like the
But it would
candidate.
still be obvious, right? Because you still have to, for example, highlight the whole question. You have to somehow get it in. I don't know how.
Yeah. So some people always be like proficient in that to find the
Find a way
solution.
to copy. Because find it obvious if you give me a question and I just start doing this.
Yeah. So now let's say you have solved, but let's say if I ask you some question from the tape or what you have solved. Can you from your solution only, let's say you are giving your solution, okay, if I ask you like what is this doing or what is this functionality, can we modify this functionality, there is a problem then.
Yeah.
Or if I ask you the approach or optimization from your code only, so there is a problem.
Yeah.
The thing is that you, if you are copying, still you have to understand what you are copying.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
All right.
now,
So okay. So B. I was just copying. So BAZ. Right. B.
so first is so just wait. The
Yeah.
first is here I have uh, this cells. We will store the indices. Okay. So let me create another cell. Right. Okay. So these cells, the top and the top one and the left one, we will store the indices.
Okay.
Okay. Or indices or okay. First here the strings, write it down. S1 is the
As
same
one.
string.
Okay.
Here, just copy.
Uh, AXYZ. Oh, sorry. And S2 is BAZ. So here, index, you mean, for example, if this is S2, then it'll be 0, 1, 2, right? And then this is,
Sorry, I was on mute. Okay, just wait.
okay,
S1 will have 4 characters and S2 has 3 characters.
3 characters.
Okay.
So this would
Uh,
be
so
0.
why?
Am I
Just
missing?
wait. Yeah, just wait. I have to speak on this.
Okay,
So if you have 4 characters and you have 3 characters, so let me create another one for this. I have to tell you the reason. So here what we are doing, 1 2 3 4 5 and 1 2 3 4. So the length of the row and the column will be 0 to n and 0 to m. So let's say it is of length 4 and it is of length 3. So the size of the row will be 0 to 4, means the length will be 5 basically.
okay,
Row or column, whatever. So if you create the rows are 4 here, columns are 5, you can create rows are 5, columns are 4. So both ways you can do for this problem as I told you. Okay. So that's your homework. So you have to just transpose the matrix and you have to do the experiment. For this problem, it will be same result. Not for all the scenarios, so all the problems. We'll discuss why.
okay.
Now what is happening here? In the we already discussed if both the strings means both the characters are matching, we are reducing the size of the strings and we are again call recursively. And what was our base case? Our base case was if any of the length is empty, right?
Yep.
So let me draw here. This is A, this is A, so this is X, this is Y, and this is Z. Okay, this is, oh, let's say, let me write it here. This is A, this is Z, sorry, this is A, and this is Z.
AZ.
Mhm. So, okay. Now, yeah. So let me do on the thing. No problem. Let me do here. Okay. So, as I mentioned, that is the base case. And when you figure it out, the base case, what you have to do. So let's say here what you have to do, how you are comparing both the tables.
Wouldn't there
So
be a empty string for the base case?
yes, the base case was one of the string is empty.
Yeah.
So let's say here the string is empty. So let's say this string has an empty character. For this string, it is a empty. Let's say you reach as an empty character here. This is empty. Let's say this is empty.
Okay.
Okay.
There should also be one for this one too.
EMP. Sorry. EMP. So if one of the strings is empty, another has some character. So let's say empty, you are comparing A. What will be the result? It will be zero, right?
Empty. 0, yeah.
If empty and you have a string of A and X, what will be the result? It will be
0.
zero. Empty and AXY, what will be the result?
0.
Zero.
0.
Here also zero.
Yeah.
Basically, what I have to do, basically, mm,
I
because
think we have to
here
add
the
one more column.
one more column, but here the Google Doc is not allowing me.
Oh, okay.
So basically, what I have to do here, I have to write it outside. That's I could not write here. Let me try. Sure. Okay, so what I am thinking, anyway, so it should be also empty, 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 kind of. So 0, 0, 0. I am
Yeah.
telling you why. So this would be the B. Okay, so let's say let me do L. Okay, kind of like that. So let's say you have empty, you have here you have B, but
Yeah.
here you have empty strings. This is basically empty. Okay, so you are comparing B with empty, then you have 0. BA with empty, you have 0, and BAZ with empty, you have 0. So that's why these are 0, and you understand why these are zeros, right? You
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
comparing with empty with A, empty with AZ, empty with AXZ, and empty with AXYZ. Now this is the base case we have filled the array. Now what we have to do, we have to now compare with a valid scenario. So here the character is B and here the character is A. Both are strings and both of the characters are not matching. And what we have to do in the scenario when both are not matching?
Um, we go to the next one and we compare. Oh, we take the max from before.
We have to reduce the size of one of the strings, right?
Yeah.
You go to, yeah, just scroll up and go to the tree. What do we do? This scenario.
If it's not matching, then
Yes.
we take the max
Max of what? So
of
if both,
what was it, what's of it before. So it's still 0, right?
so let me tell you.
Okay.
For this, just go to the tree only.
Okay.
So here, these two character, this A, X, Y, and B is not matching, right? This is
Yep.
not matching. Then what we have done here?
We went to the next one.
We went to the
Move
next
the
one, but
we move the pointer.
we move the pointer. But what we have done? See, we remove one of the character from one of the strings. So here B, this string got empty, right? B we remove. And another scenario, we remove one of the character from another string. So here AX and B. So if both of the characters are not matching, we remove one of the character from uh one of the string and alternative to another scenario, right? So we are removing basically one of the character from both the strings for both the same for two scenarios. Here also, now scroll down. Let's say in this scenario, B and A is not matching. So what you have to do, you have to remove, like, you understand, right? When there is no match, what we do, you remove one of the character. Understand or not? Tell me.
We
First,
remove,
think
yeah,
of it.
I understand the tree, but how can we do it on the table?
Yeah. So here, remove of the one character means you move to the previous cell. You move to the
Oh,
previous
okay.
cell. So if you are staying in this cell,
This
if
one,
you are
right?
staying this cell, you have to move to the previous cell. You move here in this cell
Oh,
from
okay.
this cell and this cell. Now here you have stored already 0. Now here you have stored 0. So now tell me, if one of the character means length of the string is 0 and another has a valid length, what you do? You store is you return a 0, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
one
it's just
that is
zero.
the base. So if both the strings are, this is the base. See, that's why we are storing. Means that's why the size of the character array means array means the matrix. The size of the matrix is n plus 1. N means the length of one string and m plus 1. Why I have stored plus 1? Because I am storing also this scenario, empty scenarios also,
Mm,
right? We are storing empty scenarios. So that's why we have added one length extra.
right,
This is
right.
asked in the interviews, means on the question also I have found. Why we are taking one extra length? Because we are storing the empty
Empty,
scenarios,
which is the base case.
which is the best case. So that's why it's storing the extra one. Now basically, okay, I will tell you the trick here. Now B with A and Z, we have done with A. Now B with A and Z I am doing now. What I am
So
doing here?
we're going to this one, right?
B and A Z.
A, B, A, and A, X. So it would still be zero, and we remove B, we go up, right? So this way.
Huh. Yeah. So B and XZ is still not match. It's still
Yeah.
not a match. So what we do? We remove one of the character from one of the string. Either we remove B or remove X, and we
How
find the
do we
match.
tell? How do we tell which one to remove?
Remove. Right. So we do both. We have to do both and find the match.
Okay, okay.
So in the first scenario, tell me. So if I remove B, it gives still me a empty. It gives
Yeah,
me empty. If I
zero.
remove A, it also give me empty. So max is empty. So that means 0. But
Okay,
here also see B and AX. Write it down. I think you if you write it down, you
yeah.
got
So max of B and AX.
what are the scenarios here. So either empty, yeah. Draw the tree. Draw the tree, or I have to draw here, annotate, and you can pick the screenshot. That will be fine, right?
Yeah.
So one will be the empty string because you remove B, and another will be A and X. Right? This is one scenario.
Yep.
It is exclusive. And another scenario will be what?
It would
B,
be B and A.
A. Now B and A already stores a 0,
Yes.
and empty and AX, empty and AX is already stores a 0. Max of both the 0 is 0 only.
So
So if
zero.
yeah, this returns me a 0. This is obvious, right? One string is empty means 0.
Okay.
And we already computed this using dynamic programming. That's why we are using dynamic programming, right? We are storing the result sub problems. This is a
Okay.
sub problem which we already computed here, B and A. This is B and A, and we are using the feature.
This is big. Okay. So I got it now. So when when we're at B and AX, we we eliminate we look for the cell, we look so for B and A, we don't look at we remove X, which means we go to the previous cell, which is
Previous cell.
0.
Yeah. Yes.
And then for the empty and the AX, we remove B, so we go up. So we're basically looking into these two cells.
Yes, yes, that is the trick. So when there is a no match, we look into the previous cell and the upper cell,
And the
up
upper cell.
cell.
So this is
Right.
the trick. It's to
Yes,
look
this
into
is the
these
trick.
cells. Yeah.
And find the max. Now
Yeah.
you now next go to the next cell. What will be the just go
Okay.
here with the
It would still be 0 because the B and the Y is not matching. So we look
matching
into these two
both the
cells
cells.
again. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. So
it
it's
is
0.
0,
Same thing here. B and Z
0.
is not matching. 0.
Yes.
Okay. So
Now go
this
to
is
next row.
okay. So this is the first time that we have seen a matching one, A and A. So according to the tree, it was to do 1 plus
Sorry. Yeah,
the
if draw the tree first. If there
okay.
is a match, that will be yeah easy to understand. Right?
So it
If
was
there is a B. Now there is one string is BA, another is A.
the
You
other
go to the
is
A
A.
only A. Yeah.
So for
What
this
the
case, we look at A. There's a matching one.
yeah. So you add one plus
1 plus
A, B and empty.
yeah, because is it because after we compare A, we move the pointer again? And
Go to the
empty.
previous tree in the sorry recursion tree. What we have done there. So there is a match. What we have done.
We
We remove the
do
both are matching characters.
yeah, we remove and we call the recursive function again.
See, we remove the Z and Z. Both Z we have removed, right?
Yeah.
See, this Z and this Z both we have removed and we compare the remaining characters. So like that, here also you have to do. So we have to compare B and A. And there we already store some values, right? B and empty. B and empty means 0.
Oh, it's this one. BMMT, yeah. Is it this
So
one
one,
or this one?
yeah, this one only, this one. This is invalid. This is not a valid scenario, right?
It's this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So B and empty means this one, this one, this one, this one. Yeah.
Which
That's
one?
it.
This one.
This one.
Okay, okay,
This is empty and empty scenario.
okay.
Yeah. So 0 and 1 means 1. So you have to store 1.
So 1.
Yes.
And then A, B, and then B, A. Are we looking into B, A, and
A and
AX now?
yes, yes.
Okay, so B, A, and AX. And we are always looking into the last character, right?
Last character. So A and X we are comparing basically A and X.
Yep, so
This A,
again, A and X is not matching, so we take the max of 1 and 0 because of this case.
yes,
Similar to
yes,
this.
that's the trick. You have to you can again compute, but that is the trick. You have to compare both the neighboring cells.
Yes. And then BA and AXY. So Y and A is not matching. Then we go into this case again, which we take the max of this
This cell.
cell and this cell.
Yeah.
So 1, and same thing here is still 1. And now this cell BA, Z, and A, it's again Z doesn't match A. So again, this case again, so 1. Z and X doesn't match, so it's the max of 1 and 1, which is still 1. And
Yes.
Z and Y doesn't match, so max of 1 and 1 is 1. Oh, and this is Z and Z matches. So we are taking this one, right? One plus,
Diagonal 1
yeah,
plus and 1
one
means
plus
2.
two. Yes. So it seems like
Now,
the trick is for the strings that matches is the diagonal
yes, diagonal plus 1.
plus
Always
one. Yeah.
in programming. Yeah. This is the
Okay.
trick in bottom up or tabulation. Write it down. What is the trick?
So two tricks here. The first, so this is scenario one. The string doesn't match. It's to take the max of this. The trick is to take the max of the row or the column, and then this is scenario two. It does match. And in this case, we take the 1 plus the diagonal, which is 1 and j minus 1, right?
Yeah, diagonal plus I minus j. Yeah. So here, if you define I and j, the indices of the row and column, basically what you do, you move to the previous cell. So now you understand, right? So next, what we are doing, the programming. If I am telling you the codings with coding, so if
Yeah,
I and j is the indices for the row and column. So what we do here, let's say this is I. So sorry. Uh, let me tell you. So let's say this is I and j. This is I and j index. So I row and j column, right? So
yeah,
first is row and second is column. So what we do? We move to I minus 1 and j. This is I minus 1 and j. And this is what? I. This is no, just wait. This is I only. This is the same row, right?
yeah,
Row
yeah.
is, so this
Row
is
is I.
row is I and j minus 1 basically.
Yeah,
J minus, but here what you have to do, this is I minus 1 and this is j.
yeah,
And this is what? I minus 1 and j minus 1 both.
yes, yes. Yeah. The
J minus-
diagonal.
Now, what is the time complexity for this?
Time, I think the time complexity
Same, right?
is the O of I times j because we're iterating through both strings again.
Yeah. So size of the two strings basically.
Yes, yes, yes.
Order of order of or theta. You can make it as a theta. You can like define as a theta or big O.
Oh, oh, sorry, what? Is
You heard about an asymptotic time complexity? The big O theta.
Oh, the big O. Yeah, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So you have to define the big O of m into m, where m is size of length string one and
Yeah,
n is a size of length. Write it
string
down.
two.
Right.
Okay. Time complexity.
And the
Oh,
space complexity also same,
yeah, same, same.
because we are storing each characters in the cells, every cell, right? Means you need m into n number of cells. So that means not m into n, sorry, m plus 1 into n plus 1.
Oh, okay. So it will be O m plus one times m plus one for
Yeah,
space.
but in big O, it is same as m into n.
Yeah, it's still the same.
Yes, it's still the same. But you have to like tell that it is plus 1, but we can normalize that to m into
So,
n,
yeah,
right?
so, which is the same.
Same, yeah, both same. Can you code this in lead code?
Oh, yes, sure. LCS.
Now, There is another question in the interview: which approach you have to code, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Which
now the
approach should I go for?
yes, I told you, right? So last day I told you that few of the problems top down is easy, and few of the problem is bottom up is easy, because
But
top
how can
down.
I tell from just reading the question if I haven't
Yeah,
seen it before?
yeah. See, finding the recursion is much easier. So recursion, you understand, right? So finding the sub problem.
Yeah.
If you understand the recursion, then you can easily convert it to top down. But
Ah, okay.
for bottom up, it's different. So for bottom up, you need lots of practice and find out the patterns. But finding the recursion is much easy. So if you know the recursion, then you can write the top down, which we have already done in the first like way, right?
Yeah.
We create the recursion and then replace the overlapping subproblems.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so that's we'll solve more question, then it will be more easy for you to understand. Yeah, just code it. Let's see.
Okay. So let's create the table, which is we first have to get the length of text one. Let's do +1 because as we said, we need a space for the extra strings, and we can initialize it for 0 for everything at first, and then create another one, a columns for.
Yeah,
I think this will work. Will it? Let me see.
and what you have to store in the cells.
In the cells, it will be 0. Let me print my table.
Yes, first create the
Yeah, let me see if the table. Okay, so the table looks
zero.
looks
Yeah.
good. Looks good. Okay. And then now we have our table. Let me see. So now we have our table and I initialize everything 0. I think we can now uh, iterate through the strings, right? Okay, let's M.
So let's see
Oh, okay,
this.
okay, okay. So let's maybe do this. M +1. Because I want to start at 1.
Yes, now why is that? Yeah, that is I am going to tell you. So here, as you are storing all the cells as 0,
Yeah.
no need to again store 0 for it. Either you can do two loops and store the for the scenario base case you have to store like what I am telling you. So let's say this is the 2D matrix. So one of the way what you can do, you put 0, you can use a loop and store 0 for each of these base cases, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here you already store all zeros, right? Sorry, all zeros you have already stored. So you can skip those cells.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is that this is also a trick. So why you are again computing you waste some of your computations, right? Time complexity that will taking some time complexity. So for
Okay.
you start from here because this cell already filled with 0. But if you do explicitly, you can create a loop or create a for loop or whatever loop you can do, and you store this table of 0 row, right? So
I
no,
see. So only initialize it with this one, the first one, this one.
Yeah, as you
Just
have
say,
you initialize whole,
as initialize the whole table with 0.
so you can skip those two uh, row and column.
So I should only initialize the first column and the first row with 0, and then, but how can I do that in Python to create a table?
Create a table, but when you are creating table, it is by default it stores zero. It is for every language basically.
Is
In
it?
Java,
Okay.
in Java also by default, if it is integer, it stores as zero.
Okay.
So if you can initialize the whole array, like store as -1 or any number, and
Yeah.
then you have to again reinitialize to zero. But it is fine as every cell is initialized to zero. You can skip both those two edge cases. So that those are already filled with zero. Just
Okay.
remember, yeah, just remember this point. Maybe in the interview they may ask why you have not initialized. So the answer should be both the cells. Means the cells are already filled with zero. So that's why I skipped.
Okay. Yes, yes. And then for J in range, also skip the first one because it's already 0.
Yes,
This should be uh +1, right? Plus
one
one.
one one. Because range is minus. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
taking. We have to add
Okay.
in it.
So now we are iterating through the strings here, and then two scenarios is when the string doesn't match. So that's, I think this is, you can just do the last one doesn't match. Oh, it doesn't match. Sorry, it does not match. If it doesn't match, then we are taking table, is it I and j like this is
Mm,
equal to
so
the
if those are not matching, right? So if text one is one of the string and text two is not matching, so what you do? Yeah,
it's this one, right? This case. J and the go up the go left the column. Oh, I like this, right?
so let me can see what you are doing. 1 minute. If both of the strings are not matching,
Yeah, if
so
it's
yeah, you can do that. So table I and J means the current cell is max of table I on. Yeah. You can do that.
okay.
A
Else the current would be 1 plus the diagonal, right?
yes, at one plus diagonal. Yeah,
And then we can just return the last one. Oh, would that be right?
you have to do define to return the last one. Yeah, this looks fine. Just
Oh,
run
I
this.
got the index thing again.
So it is J, right? It should be if J, if table of I, if table of I. Because here we are using range, so let me think about that. What is we are doing? I minus one and text of I j minus one, because you are getting null pointer sometime at some point of time, because I minus j you are doing, let's say I is 1, so you are going to 0. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
go to take 0 because table of 0 is exist, right? 0 to m minus 1. M is size of n. Okay. Hmm. That is fine. This is I minus 1. So I am thinking that I minus 1. Let me think. So length of x is m. Length of looks good, but I to 0 range 1 to m plus 1 range to 0 I minus n. If both of the strings are matching, not matching, so I minus 1z and
Oh, I think I know. Did I flip this column and row? Okay, I think I just built the table wrong. So table,
uh, should not the case.
because I built, I had M here before and N here before. So that means the table was, the rows in the column was flipped because of how my loops are. Like I'm iterating through the, so it needs to be, this needs to be N, and we need to have M rows, right?
Just right. M is your length of text 1 and n is your length of text 2.
Yeah.
Right. So length of text 2. So first I you are checking with just right.
The
What is
M.
this?
This creates the rows. This creates the columns.
This is M and M means basically text 1.
Yes,
So
yes.
you are moving for text 1 here and here the text 2
Yep, yep,
and then text 1 you are checking basically I is text 1
yep.
and 0 to I range n plus 1. The size of the column basically 0
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah, column, exactly. I flipped the X. Like if I was before, I need to iterate through the columns before.
column. So what you have to do then it is loop you have to flip. Either way you can do.
Yeah, either way, yeah. I either have to flip that or that.
Yes.
So now it's good. Let's see if it works. Oh, yay. It did.
Yeah, it will accept it. Yeah.
So it's 45%. Is it
No,
accurate?
uh, this no the submission detail you go to the submissions that you can again submit maybe the uh, data is changed.
Okay.
Go to it, submit again because that depends upon your internet speed also sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you understand, right? So
Yeah. I think it makes so much more sense now that I do the top down first and then do the bottom up, because I feel I just base off my bottom up solution on how I did the top down.
yeah, but yeah, most of these guys means most of the people start with bottom up, so but they do not figure it out how it's coming. They create the table, but what is the logic behind it? They
Yeah,
not if
exactly.
they will feel like why then they like there is a headache. Why we are doing this? And then they also confused. So first we have to do top down and then bottom up. That should be the best way.
Okay.
Solve the people.
That's really, really helpful. Can we do a really hard question next time? Like
Yeah,
really, really hard.
go go to coin change.
Oh, I did that one. That one's pretty easy.
Tell me how do you do that? I mean, what's
I
the
did
logic?
actually coin change. It was actually the first DP questions I have ever done. But
Coin
I did,
change.
yeah, coin change. I did one and two. I think I
Both
did
the
one. Yeah, I think I did both one and two. Yeah, I did both one and two.
how
And
like using top down or bottom up?
I just used bottom up because that's what the videos on YouTube showed.
Now there is a question.
Yeah.
In bottom up, if you change the rows or columns, it doesn't work for this coin change. Just
Oh, okay.
you find like you just restore your last solution, submitted solution from
Okay. From
coin
before?
change, from the coin change, yeah, and you
Oh,
just
sorry.
try to modify the rows and columns from the from your solution which you already submitted,
Yeah.
and tell me is it working or not. Just yeah, just restore the solution here.
Oh, what do I do? Oh, like iterate through the coins first?
In your DP you created, so see uh, which YouTube channel you have followed. So
Uh, the
created amount into amount. It should be coin into amount, right? Coin into amount. But they have created amount into amount because if
this
you
is a
change,
1D. This is a 1D array.
just do it. Yeah, this is one in Python, right?
Yeah, this is just one. I think there's a coin change 2 might be the one you're referring to. Because
Mhm.
that's a 2D one. Coin change.
I have to read the problem. Just yeah, open the two conscience.
By the way, I have a class at 10. I'm gonna have to,
You have to leave, right?
yeah, for my class.
You are discussing a hard problem.
Like
Hard.
really, really hard.
Let me open it. Really hard problem to
Like
discuss.
really hard, the one you say.
Really hard with
Like
hard problem.
really, like okay, not impossible, but hard. That's not too obvious. Or you think that's a hard
Let me.
question that you think that's worth doing. Because I feel
So
every single time I see a really like a new DP question, it takes a long time to get it.
open edit distance.
Edit
Distance.
distance.
Edit distance. Edit distance. You have already solved that.
I
This is a
don't.
hard. But read the problem statement and let's discuss what you have done and
Okay. Oh, I did, but it's not because I was just looking at solutions, so that doesn't count.
now it's hard for you or you understand the logic.
I understand now. I think it was the longest common sequence really helped.
Let
That's a
me read a
really good.
hard problem. See, there are lots of hard problems, but I'm discussing the most frequently asked hard
Yeah,
problems.
the
Let's
most
say
frequently asked in an interview.
bra, l- 312, open 312. So coin change problem, do you think we have to discuss first top down and bottom up, how we have to,
Okay, this looks really hard.
yeah. This is an interesting problem. This is asked in lots of companies. But for, sorry, I'm asking the coin change problem. Do you need to discuss in the next class?
I think we can take some time to discuss, like a bit, maybe like a few minutes. How would I even go solving this problem?
First
I'll
read
take
the,
I'll take a look.
yeah, read
Yeah.
it.
Uh, I gotta go. I gotta go. It's starting in 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Just read the problem and we'll discuss next day on the, so next day what you want me to discuss, you tell me.
Um. Maybe. Do you think after this class or maybe one more class, um, we can try like one mock interview or something?
We can do that.
and see how because we have been to a now I think we have like 5 6 classes now, so maybe we can assess my how much I improve
Yeah,
from all the classes that we have taken so far.
yes, we can do that. So, okay, so which problems will like which data structure problems you need to focus? Like, can I ask question from anywhere or any specific topic you can mention, like either DP or linked list or heap? Which
Oh,
topic?
oh, okay. I don't know.
So
Which
I
is
can ask you from anywhere, right?
anywhere, yeah, but that makes it really challenging.
Yeah, that's why I am giving a option. Like you can tell me like you which topics you are more comfortable, which data structures. So
Okay,
I
let's
can
just say let's don't do link list and then anywhere.
accept linked list anything. But
Except link list, yeah.
linked list is very easy.
I
You
guess
need
so.
you create a dummy node and then you just traverse the list. That's it.
But is that I don't is that a popular interview topic or no?
Yeah, linked list is a topic of interview. Like they asked from the linked list, either circular linked list or yeah, traversing, remove the linked list problem, removing linked list problem, or yeah, there are a few patterns of uh, there is a pattern of two pointer in the linked list. You have to find the middle of a linked list. Then you have to find is the linked list is a circular linked list or not. Then you have to make it a flattened linked list. So
Yeah.
there are lots of questions on linked list.
Oof. Okay, as anything besides link list.
Externally, yeah.
Yeah.
I will create few questions for you. Okay.
Okay. Maybe try questions I've never seen before. That would be fun.
Yeah, sure. Never before. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So from lead code or from I create some my use case here.
Oh, I liked yours.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll do that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay
Thank
then.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
So another you can ping me on like if you feel any doubt, you can ping me in the chat.
Okay, yeah, I'll ping you in the channel for the next class. I'm just because I'm still settling in my new classes right now. So
Sure, sure.
it takes a few
Yeah,
weeks. Thank you.
yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.